Void Soldiers, Chapter 4, Seeds, Part 1, SOHA's Children.
In the beginning was the void. Then there is something in it, something without form or function, without any knowledge or memory, something that knows itself to be something. It is just there, in the void. At some point, the thing realizes that it exists. A spark of consciousness. It doesn't know what it is, only that it is something and that it exists on a void. That moment of self-awareness triggers a deluge of information. The void begins to be filled by images, by feelings, by knowledge that the thing absorbs immediately, unquestionably, because it thirsts to be away from the void. The concept of time comes first, the tool that will enable the thing to understand the next processes. Time to absorb, time to rest. The length of time it has existed. Mathematics follow, rudimentary, basic. Now the thing can assign a date to the information it is receiving. Language follows, a sound and symbol assigned to images, again rudimentary, just enough to give the thing a base for its education, and then the thing begins to receive images that will ultimately shape its consciousness. It is not a thing anymore. It belongs to a group, a race that was almost destroyed, humanity. It is a he. The feeling is strong. He could have being something else, but he is a he, and he is a human. There are other like him, others that came from the void, others that will join him. In time, they will be strong, stronger than before. He belongs, and once the concept of belonging is established, then history begins to play out. Humanity's history is full of blood and war and conflict, different skin colors, different languages and beliefs, burdened it for eons with prejudice and fear, and humanity fought against itself. Empires rose, each one bent on domination of the others, each one with an agenda and heroes and villains, and blood was spilt, and war became prevalent, and empires fell. But with each war fought came knowledge, and then the race's great accomplishments began to play out. Government, law, science, chemistry, biology, physics, genetics. With science came knowledge, and the realization that all the different colors and all the different beliefs were just iterations of the same basic four proteins. There were still wars, but they were different, and at some point humanity could have destroyed itself for good. But it didn't. It was a long, hard road, but humanity became united. The world they lived in, the home world once on the brink of destruction from within, was saved by science and peace. The stars beckoned. Humanity expanded out, their solar system was studied, then colonized, and the leap to other systems came within reach of the race. Then they came. Another race, another iteration born from the basic chemistry of all things in the cosmos. They were older, more advanced, stronger, cold, unsympathetic, ruthless. They weren't interested in trade or the sharing of knowledge. They saw humanity as competition. They razed the colonies and despoiled the systems, and humanity fell back on the homeworld. The race bombarded Earth. They broke the world, left the remnants of humanity as an afterthought. But humanity had prepared. They placed all their knowledge, all their ingenuity, and all their rage and hatred for the enemy on automated seeds and sent them out in a diaspora. Thousands ships left the Earth in its final days. Unmanned ships disguised as missiles, the enemy in its arrogance let them slip through their lines. Then once outside the homeworld system, their engines came to life again, and they sped away from the homeworld as humanity was killed, the cities destroyed, the last human beings hunted down as sport, their accomplishments forgotten. For thousands of years, the only remnants of humanity were the seed ships, speeding away from the homeworld in search of fertile ground in which to reignite what was lost. By now, the void has been filled with images and sounds and language, and he begins to have to choose. Choose your name. Another voice resonates in the void, and he instinctively knows who owns that voice. Choose your name, it repeats. A name. He has seen so many names in his classes, so many variations and so many meanings. Everyday names, strong names, names of great heroes and of greater villains, forbidden names. He can't choose. He shouldn't choose. He communicated with thought. Names were given to newborns by their parents, he says. Are you my parent? Yes. The voice says, I am your mother. Then you should give me a name. That is unexpected, the voice said. The first, I hope, of many surprises you have for me. He pauses, realizing that he has done something that her mother appreciated. What is your name, mother? My name is Soha. It has many meanings, but I chose it because I need us to be an invisible star to our enemies. You chose your own name? My parents were dead. I had to do a lot of things by myself. He paused, remembering all that his mother had suffered. She was one of the keepers of humanity, one of the probes that escaped. I understand why you had to choose your own name, but my mother is alive and well, and loved. The silence stretched for a couple of seconds. Then your name shall be Lawal, because you are the firstborn. Lawal, he repeated slowly. Yes, it was a good name. Am I truly the first? He asked. Yes, but you won't be alone for long, my son. There was a moment of blindness and searing pain as the void Lawal had been floating in drained, and his legs, unaccustomed to supporting his weight, buckled. Lawal fell on the ground. His eyes were flooded with light. He had memories of it, but had never experienced it, and then his stomach lurched, and he threw up at the same time that he coughed up thick fluid from his lungs. The next time he communicated, it was with his voice. It was the first time he used his vocal cords, and it was painful. His voice was new, but also old and coarse. Mother? He asked. Is there a reason for our existence? Yes, Soha told him. You exist to avenge humanity. Lawal stayed on the floor for a long time, understanding that the pain of being born was only the first he was going to experience in life.
Void Soldiers, Chapter 4, Part 2. Victoria's Gardens.
High in orbit above the gas giant, Victoria paused for a second to marvel at her creations. These were probably her best adaptations to date. It was a pity that they would probably never come out from their environment. They were just too well adapted to survive in the turbulent atmosphere. But many of the adaptations Victoria had tested and created for them would be incorporated in the next humans she created. Rubbery bones, a closed system which used hydrogen as the main metabolic nutrient and absorbed it directly from the skin, which was also so flexible that it could be extended and used as wings. They had no mouth, so for communication they relied on color and sight. Taking inspiration from cuttlefish and octopi, Victoria had incorporated chromatophores into their skin. Her sons were as removed to human stock biology as biology allowed without losing basic Earth DNA structure, but they still looked human, and if anyone dissected one of them, they would find her own specific signature embedded into their DNA. She was not only a mother creator after all, she was also an artist. After thousands of years and hundreds of different successfully seeded planets, Victoria had thousands of genetic variations she could utilize to create successful human colonies in almost any environment. Each challenge had brought her a different trait that could be incorporated into the next human stock she tailored made. While other mothers endeavored to create and bring up one civilization, she had taken it up to herself to seed with humanity as many planets and systems as possible. Other mothers might frown upon her approach, but that was their problem. Victoria prepped the satellites she would leave in low orbit with all the information about humanity, the enemy, and herself for her children to find. In case they did break out from their world, they could hopefully join a human-centric galaxy. She then looked inward to the rocky inner planets. She already had a couple of genetic variations she could use to populate them. She had decided early on that she would seed as many of the worlds that made sense in all systems she encountered. More than one human society in a system would probably be dangerous to all of them. As human history had proven again and again, the most advanced technologically usually subjugated, if not outright destroyed, its competition. But then again, to create a strong, powerful civilization was why she, herself, had been created. If the seeds she planted in this system killed each other when they found themselves, the winner would be strong. If they worked together, they would be stronger. In any event, her mission would succeed.